In 2022, two investors both put $10,000 into what they each called the tech ETF. One picked QQQ, one picked VGT. Over the past decade, same starting amount, same general market, but one of those investors has ended up with tens of thousands of dollars more than the other. Not because they timed the market, not because they took some speculative bet, but because of a single decision most people make without ever really thinking about it. And here's the interesting part. The investor who came out behind, they probably still think they made the right call. Today, I want to fix that. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what QQQ and VGT are built to do, and which one actually delivers if your goal is long-term technology exposure. I'm also going to show you something at the end that most QQQ investors have genuinely never thought about. It changes the math in a way that's hard to ignore. This isn't about timing the market or picking the hot trade. It's about making sure the ETF you're holding actually matches the bet you think you're making. Let's start there. What is QQQ? QQQ launched in March 1999, managed by Invesco. It tracks the NASDAQ 100, which means it owns the 100 largest non-financial companies listed on the NASDAQ exchange. Here's where most people already have it wrong. QQQ is not a technology ETF. I'll say that again because this surprises a lot of investors. QQQ is not a pure technology fund. It's a large-cap growth ETF. Technology dominates the portfolio, yes, but QQQ also holds companies in communication services, consumer discretionary, retail, and other sectors. Amazon is in QQQ, so is Meta, so is Tesla, so is Costco. None of those are classified as technology companies. They're retail, communication, and consumer companies, and they all live inside QQQ. So when you invest in QQQ, you're betting on America's largest growth companies. That's not a bad bet, but it is not the same as betting purely on technology. That distinction matters a lot more than most people realize. VGT, the Vanguard Information Technology ETF, does exactly one thing. It owns technology companies. That's it. No Amazon, no Meta, no Tesla, no Netflix. Only companies formally classified as information technology businesses under the GICS, the Global Industry Classification Standard. VGT launched in early 2004 and is managed by Vanguard, the same company built on the philosophy that low fees and long-term discipline beat almost everything else. And while QQQ tracks about 100 companies, VGT holds over 320 technology companies across large, mid, and small caps. So it's more concentrated in sector, but broader in terms of how many companies it owns. Here's the simplest way to think about it. QQQ is a bet on growth. VGT is a bet on technology. Those two things sound nearly identical. The performance data shows they are not. The fees. Before we get to performance, let's look at fees, because there's been a change here that most people haven't heard about. VGT costs 0.09% per year. That's one of the lowest expense ratios you'll find anywhere. QQQ recently cut its fees. In late 2025, Invesco restructured QQQ from its old trust format to a standard open-end ETF, and in doing so, brought the expense ratio down from 0.20% to 0.18%. That's still twice the cost of VGT. Over decades, when you're talking about 6- and 7-figure portfolios, that difference compounds in ways that start to add up. But fees alone don't determine winners. Performance does. And this is where things get very interesting. The performance gap. Let's look at the numbers. Over the past 10 years, annualized, VGT has returned about 25.6% per year. QQQ has returned about 21.8% per year. That 4 percentage point annual gap might not sound massive, but run it through a decade and it becomes dramatic. A $10,000 investment in QQQ 10 years ago would have grown to roughly $72,000 today. That same $10,000 in VGT, roughly $96,000. Same time period, same starting amount, about $24,000 more for the VGT investor, just from choosing the right fund. And look at the trailing 12 months. VGT is up over 58% against QQQ's roughly 41%. Go back 5 years, VGT is up around 157%, QQQ around 122%. Every time you look at it, the same pattern emerges. The reason the gap exists. VGT is entirely focused on technology. When tech wins, VGT wins bigger. When Nvidia goes on a historic run, VGT benefits fully. Nvidia is currently over 18% of VGT's portfolio. When Microsoft and Apple dominate AI infrastructure, VGT captures all of that. QQQ benefits from these moves too, but it's diluted. Because part of QQQ is invested in consumer companies, communication companies, and retailers that aren't classified as tech, the pure technology gains don't hit as hard. Think of it this way. If you believe technology is the engine driving long-term market returns, QQQ gives you the engine plus a bunch of other parts. VGT gives you just the engine. For some investors, that extra diversification inside QQQ is a feature. For investors who specifically want technology exposure, it functions as a drag. The numbers demonstrate that drag consistently. But here's where the story gets more complicated, because concentration cuts both ways. VGT has outperformed. It has also fallen differently. In 2022, one of the worst years for tech in recent memory, VGT dropped about 29.7%. QQQ dropped around 32.6% that same year. So interestingly, VGT's pure tech focus didn't make it fall harder in 2022. The non-tech holdings in QQQ didn't protect it the way you might expect. But over time, sharper sector concentration does mean VGT's swings can be more tied to a single narrative. If the market sours on technology broadly, not just a down year, but a sustained skepticism about valuations, VGT feels that more acutely. That's worth knowing about yourself as an investor, not as a reason to avoid VGT, but as a question: can you hold through tech-specific volatility without abandoning your position? Because a portfolio you actually stay invested in will always outperform one you sell out of at the wrong moment.
Who should hold which? So, who are these funds actually built for? If you want broad exposure to America's largest growth companies, a mix of tech, retail, communication, and consumer, and you like the fact that QQQ is one of the most liquid, widely recognized ETFs in the world, it's a proven instrument. Millions of people have built real wealth with it. But if your thesis is specifically about technology, AI, semiconductors, software, cloud computing, hardware, and you want the most direct way to express that view, VGT has been the more effective vehicle, historically, and with a lower fee. The mistake most people make isn't choosing the wrong one, it's choosing one while thinking they're getting the other. A lot of investors own QQQ because someone told them it was the tech ETF. They believe they have concentrated technology exposure. They don't. And that gap between what you believe you own and what you actually own is where real money gets left behind over time. The QQQM twist. Now, let's say you've decided QQQ is the right choice for you. Maybe you like the broader growth exposure. Maybe you already hold VGT and want something different. That's completely reasonable. Here's the question I'd still ask you. Are you in QQQ or QQQM? Because if you're a long-term investor, 10, 20, 30 years, there's a strong argument you should be in QQQM instead. QQQM is also managed by Invesco. It tracks the exact same NASDAQ 100 index, it holds the exact same companies in the exact same weights with the exact same strategy. The only difference is cost. QQQ now charges 0.18% annually, QQQM charges 0.15%. The gap is small, just 0.03%, but QQQM was specifically designed for long-term retail investors who are building wealth steadily, not institutional traders moving large blocks of capital. And there's another structural difference worth knowing. QQQ has far higher daily trading volume and options market depth, which makes it the preferred choice for active traders and institutions. But for someone who's simply buying and holding over decades, that institutional liquidity doesn't do much for you. QQQM gives you the same index with a lower cost of ownership. Most people have never heard of QQQM. That's not a conspiracy, it's just that QQQ has 25 years of brand recognition and institutional presence behind it. But when two products do essentially the same thing, the cheaper one is the rational choice for a buy and hold investor. Here's where I want to leave you. These aren't complicated products. QQQ is broad growth, VGT is pure technology, QQQM is QQQ with a lower fee. Understanding the difference takes about 10 minutes, but the impact of that understanding, applied over decades, can be measured in tens of thousands of dollars. The most common financial mistake isn't taking too much risk or too little, it's moving on autopilot, owning something because someone confident-sounding recommended it without ever asking, what does this actually do, and does that match what I'm trying to build? Both QQQ and VGT are quality ETFs. The question is which one aligns with your actual investment thesis. If you believe technology will drive the next decade of market returns, and a lot of evidence points in that direction, VGT has historically been the pure, higher-performing way to act on that belief. The lower fee helps too, but only if you can hold through tech-specific volatility without blinking. If you want something slightly broader, America's best growth companies, not just technology, QQQ, or better yet, QQQM, gives you that with lower fees than most people realize. Either way, now you actually know what you're choosing. Drop a comment below. Are you in QQQ, VGT, or QQQM? And if you've held any of these since before 2022, I'd genuinely like to hear how you handled that year.